Oh, nice and crunchy. 5 hours. Got the new wood-fired oven. Unexpectedly, some friends are coming around to see what all the noise is about this new oven. You have no dough. Stick around, I'll show you how to make some excellent dough in 4 hours. Also, I'll show you what happens when things go wrong. It over ferments, the pizza oven's too cold, the pizza oven's too hot. Stick around, I'll show you how to do a few things in the oven, and hopefully you learn something from this. Hi people, my name's Alan. My friends call me Gib. I'm going to show you how I make pizza dough. Not a professional, but I do make a lot of pizza. I'm here, I like to get, I'll say, good quality products and put it together. But you can go on the internet, there's all kinds of recipes, and there's calculators and everything. But a lot of it depends on timing and how you're going to use the dough. And so the way I make mine, I've been making it for years now. I did just change. I went to the Stagioni flour because that's what my supplier changed from Duro. I've done a couple of batches and I have to say I'm very pleased with the flour. It stretches really easy, really well, tastes good. I probably mix up 2 or 3 kilos a week. All of I make my batches 1 kilo, and that goes back before I used to buy, like everyone, 1 kilo at a time. And I grew up in school in Canada, and I started learning inches, feet, yards, miles, and they changed it to metric in Canada. I know they have it in the United States, but for me anyways, cooking seems to be, when you're talking about baker's percentages, when you use the metric system, it's quite a bit easier. 1 kilo of flour, you want 65% hydration, you want 650 grams of water. 1 liter of water weighs 1,000 grams. So 650 grams of water is 650 milliliters. It's just easy, and most of the baker's stuff is done in percentages. So for me, I use the metric system. I'll put the recipe in the description. A couple things, I don't make thousands of pizzas. I'm not a professional. I do this at home. I do make a lot of pizzas for the average person, and it seemed getting the perfect recipe is great, but then making a mistake the day before and not finding out till the day of the cook wasn't a problem, but it happened. You know, I made some dough, it looked great. I had forgotten the salt. So I go through a process. I actually have sold, this has been with me for 2-3 years now. Got the recipe written down. It's the first thing I do, I put it on the table, it's there. I've got a scale, cost me $10, 10 euros. Get a scale, guys. This one was 10 euros, and it's very accurate, within, I'm gonna say, half a gram or less. So I weigh out all my ingredients. I have my yeast, have my salt, which I buy salt. I have a 5 kilo bucket of salt. I get a very coarse sea salt because we use it for cooking meat a lot. And I just grind it down, my mortar and pestle, to get a little finer. Then I have my oil. I use 20 grams of oil. Typically I'll put 21 grams in here because there'll be a gram left over. I'm using the 5 steak, the only flour. I measure up 1 kilo exactly. I do sift my flour, and I pre-weigh my water. I got 650 grams of water. This is a 65% hydration. I do use a little more yeast than the guys will like, but the reason I do that is because I make 1 kilo, 65% hydration. It gives me 6 280 ml balls. It's just me and my wife here. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm going to make 6 balls. 2 of them I'm going to keep out on the counter because I'll cook them tonight. 4 of them I'll put in the fridge. So I do use a little extra yeast. It's more to kind of help the the dough for today, and it doesn't hurt too much for the dough for tomorrow. I like to do 280 gram balls. As I said, I grew up in Canada, accustomed to a thicker crust. I like a thick crust. There was a pizza place called Topper's Pizza. They started in Sudbury. I like their pizza. For a franchise type pizza, it was great pizza. So I'm gonna put a little bit of water in my mixing bowl. I'm gonna put the yeast in. I just do the yeast in a small amount of water. It's easier to see if there's any unmelted yeast left. And then I'm gonna put 650 grams in. I don't have to measure it because I've already measured it. And then I'm going to put, I'm gonna say not half, but almost half of the flour in. And you see, I'm not using my hands. I don't like using my hands. This is the one thing maybe you guys will like. I do use my hands, but at this point I just use a spatula. And then I let it rest after so that the gluten starts to form a little bit, and it's just it's not as messy. I don't mind the mess, it just seemed like it was a waste of flour. And you have to knead it until it's supple. I put my salt and the oil in at this point. It's a little hard on the yeast, but I've done it this way and I've had success, so I'm going to continue doing it. So I put 21 grams of oil in here so that I get 20 grams left. So it's mixed up. So at this point, I just put the rest of the flour in, and then I just mix it in. Pull it off the sides. There's none on the bottom because I put the water in first. There's none on the bottom. Takes a while, just be patient. 65%, it's not that sticky. It's not, I've done 75%, quite a bit. 65% kneads well, has a good crisp to it. I do cook my pizzas because I have a thicker crust. I cook my pizzas a little, not as hot. I do about, let's say 325 to 350, 325 to 375 in the wood-fired oven. It's a little colder than a lot of guys use, but I'm doing, as I said earlier, I like my crust a little thicker, and the thicker the crust, you have to cool it down a little bit so that it gives it time to cook through. You don't want a crust that's not cooked in the center. So I have a little more yeast. I put the oil in more. It seems the oil, there's a lot of things, people say that it's better so that the tomato sauce doesn't go through the dough. I haven't seen that, but I have seen if I don't put the oil in, the pizza comes out, it doesn't have the nicest color to it. And putting the oil in seems to give it a nicer color. And that's the main reason I put it in, because without it, I was seeing that the pizza was just looking too white. So this is coming together now. All the flour's off the bottom. If you look, there's very little flour on my spatula, very little flour, and my hands are virtually clean. Now I'm just going to cover it with a piece of plastic. I'm going to let it sit for about half an hour, and then I'll roll it out and stretch it. Do yourself a favor, go to Costco and get a roll of the larger plastic. It's just so convenient. So I had some people show up, so the flour sat for more than half an hour. So we'll just get it out on the table. Let's see what we got here. fold it. The goal is to get it so that it's, I say it's supple. It doesn't take a lot. It's a little sticky. I just keep folding it. You can feel it's very springy. You feel it's like if you tried to stretch this out right now, you wouldn't be able to. You would stretch it, it would spring back. You can see, look at that. That's a nice, it's nice dough. It's got a nice feel to it. It's not ready to cook or anything, but it's got a really nice feel to it. So this is all the kneading I've done. As you can see, I haven't done much kneading. I let it sit. While it was sitting, the gluten forms. Look at this stuff. It's nice. Nice dough. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll it into balls, and I'm going to leave 2 balls out because I'm going to eat them today. And I'm going to put 4 balls in the fridge. So how I do it, I do take them. The dough is very strong. Okay, so I got 280 grams per ball, and I'm just going to take them and I'm going to roll them. I'm going to get a nice, I just roll them under. It's a nice dough. Like this. Le Cinco Stagioni, this dough is 14% protein, so it's just so much. If you look at my video with the Tipo 55, and when I get to this one, when I stretch it out, it's just so much better. And it's nothing against the brands or anything, it's the type of flour. It's just so good. But if you think the amount of kneading I've done here, it's nothing. And look at these balls. Look very good, in my opinion. Okay. So, as I said, I'm going to put 4 balls in. I'm going to put them in my dough box, and I'm going to put them in the fridge. They'll be for tomorrow. 2 balls I'm going to leave out. I'll cover them with plastic, and in probably a couple hours, we'll make some pizza. Our dough balls. These will go in the fridge. These 2 balls that I'm going to use today, let's put a little flour on a plate. I'll put them on the plate. And I'll cover them with plastic. I want to make sure they're completely covered so that no air gets to them. I just want to mention it. It's 20 degrees here. I do have heat, but I don't have the heat on. It's 20 degrees here, and when the sun's up, it's a little more, but the sun's been down for an hour. So it's about 20 degrees here, so just so everybody knows. So one thing I do is, when I'm making dough for tomorrow, I will cut my fresh buffalo mozzarella, and this is a local Pure Juice brand. Queijo mozzarella, pingo doce do leite do buffalo. So it's buffalo mozzarella. So I will, the night that I make the dough, I will cut and so my fresh cheese can drain overnight in the fridge. Here's the brand. So here's the ball, and I just cut it. Try to get it, it's pretty soft. And then I take it, and I have a bowl, and I put this in the bowl, and then I dump the cheese in. So you let this sit, there's already some water in there, and I'll let it sit overnight. And it just lets the water drain out. Just makes the pizza not soggy, it's just so much better. Just getting the fire lit. You can see the top is still black. The top's black, it's still cold. So it's about 350 Celsius right now. So got the sausages, mushrooms in there just to cook them off. So you can see the dome is now getting clear. There's still a little bit of black in the back, but it's getting clear over there. Or not clear, but the black is gone. Just about there. It's cooled down to about 300. Just put a couple more pieces in, bring it up to about 350, and we're gonna cook our first pizza. So it's 9:30. This dough is basically 5 hours old. As I incorporated the ingredients at 4:30, 6:30 I kneaded it and made it into dough balls. Should have put a little bit of oil on the top. Yeah, boy. So it's 5 hours old. So the other dough balls are in the fridge for tomorrow. But I wanted some pizza today. Well, my friends come over to see me, which was nice, but my dough sat too long and now it's over fermented. It's nice to be popular, but now what? It's not the end of the world, guys. Just move on. I just roll the dough back into balls and let it sit for about half an hour. This dough would have been ready in 4 hours, no problem. This is 5 hours here. It would have been ready in 4 hours. So never fret. This stuff's pretty good. Just re-roll it, let it sit for a little bit, and you'll see the results will still be wonderful. Just needs to sit a little longer. First pizza, we're gonna make it, again, pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, green pepper, and onion. Sauce is a little wet, but it should be okay. This sausage, the problem when I make this sausage is I usually eat it all before I actually get the pizzas ready. This is just so good. These mushrooms, same story. They are so good. If you look at my Tipo 55 video, I show exactly how to make those, those mushrooms. I really like them. A little bit of green pepper, a little bit of onion. The onions and the green peppers are raw. The guys in Portugal don't like raw vegetables on their pizza. And, we do that in Canada and the United States, but I don't mind it. This is, I'm gonna say what they call a deluxe pizza in Canada anyways. Pepperoni, typically this pepperoni, bacon, mushroom, onion, green pepper. I got pepperoni sausage, mushroom, onion, green pepper, salt. You can see it's a little hard to stretch. The next one will be better. Okay. Going in. First one in. You can see the dough, it's rising. It's not sticking on the bottom or nothing. The oven's at 335, so it's heating up a little bit, which is good. Just gonna turn that a little bit. So you put your fire on the side so you can see. If the fire's at the back, you can't see the crust because it's at the back. So by putting the fire at the side, you can see if the crust is getting overcooked. I like my pizza well done. I don't like it burnt. I don't mind char, but I don't like it burnt. Just got a piece of wood in the front, which will stop the airflow over the floor, which is cooling the floor down. Fire is still climbing. It's at 340. My magic number is about 350 Celsius. Dough's popping up nice, getting a nice color. Cheese is just starting to melt. I like the crust a little thicker. I like it well done. This cheese is very low moisture, so it browns up really nice. There it is. Like I said, I like my pizza well done. There's color to the crust. There's no what I call leoparding because the dough was brought up to temperature. A little bit of oil gives it a little bit of color and lets you the pito crunchy. Oh, nice and crunchy. Let's cut it. 5 hours. Just restoked the fire. I'm gonna do the second pizza. We're up about 360. So this is the second dough ball. It's a lot easier to stretch. It's been 1 hour more. You can see it just stretches so easy. It's 6 hours. Bigger shell. Got a nice feel to it. Okay, so we put some sauce. Sausage. This is good sausage. Can't get over how good it is. Mushrooms. Green pepper. Onion. Mozzarella. Pizza stretches out a lot easier. That's the right size. Going in. Pizza's in. There it is. Second pizza, still bubbling away. Oh yeah. We got the crunch. 6 hours. Well, the 2 pizzas were ready. We had more people come by, so I ended up taking the other 4 dough balls out of the fridge and let them warm up. We ended up eating all 6 pizzas before the end of the night. It's amazing. These pizza ovens seem to attract people. If you enjoyed this, please like my channel. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. I'm going to do some more like this. Something you didn't like, by all means, leave a comment on that too. Thanks again. Enjoy.